In this lesson, we'll add some struts to the front vent and grill areas. So we need to add these vertical pieces, for instance this one right here and also this one down here. So let's go ahead and start with the large one up at the top. And so we need an area. If we just extrude this out from these polygons, for instance right here, it's going to be much too wide. So we need to define an area where we can pull that out from. So I'm going to go ahead and select some polygons that kind of make up that particular area. And we'll go ahead and down in Edit Polygons, Roll Out. We're going to go to Inset. And I'll just do kind of a smaller inset amount. You can see how that affects everything. And go ahead and say OK. And now we can modify this as the area that we want our piece to come out. So you can see from the front, it's already pretty much the right width. And from the back, you can see, or from the side rather, it doesn't matter how far in it goes. That's it doesn't really matter to us. But you can see there, go ahead and set that, the front is pretty much on the line there. But what we want to do is kind of just straighten this out and make sure that everything is going to work for us. So I'm going to go ahead and just move some of these points. And I've got my parent reference coordinate on here. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull some of these up. And so you end up with something like that. And I can kind of pull that back a little bit. So you basically want it to, the front of it to match up with the side there. You can see where the front of that is. Looks like that's what we're talking about there. And we've got the width. So if we select those polygons, you can see that width is set. I might want to go ahead and narrow this up just a little bit and straighten it out a little. Okay, and like I said, it doesn't matter how far back it goes. So now what we can do is use this to bring up this piece here. Alright, so let's go ahead and just extrude this, but if we just do this now, we're going to lose a little bit of an opportunity to create some sharpness here because we want it to be kind of nice and sharp. So we'll go ahead and do another inset, just a very small one. Okay. And you could even pull this one up just a little bit. Go ahead and say OK, and then pull these polygons up just a little. Go ahead and extrude that up. Okay, we'll add a positive extrusion height, and I'm just you can either go by group or along the local normal. And I'll just extrude it up, and you'll be able to tell by how far apart your lines are. You'll be able to tell how sharp that's going to be when you smooth it. So we'll go ahead and experiment with this, make something kind of like that. Go ahead and do another extrude, and this time we'll just pull this straight up, basically up into the hood area. Okay, we'll say OK, and now you can see how this angle doesn't match up, so we'll go ahead and pull that back. And looking at this, we may need to pull that hood out actually too. It's not really lined up with what we want. So once we've got this sort of lined up, I can go ahead and just get rid of those polygons. Okay, let's go ahead and take this hood and go ahead and fix that up for now. So I'm going to go ahead and use an FFD, freeform deformation modifier. So let's go ahead and grab that, and I'm going to just do a box so that I can change the number of control points here. And I've got right now it's 4 by 4 by 4. I'm going to go ahead and set this up to, let's see, I want to, I think, change that height. And then I'll grab some control points, and I don't want to change the intersection here too much, or I want to at least be able to change it back. So I'm giving myself a little bit more resolution. And now I can kind of pull these out to something like that. And then I'll grab the ones on the ends. You just grab those and those, and just pull that back so that it's back where it needs to be, all nice and connected up with our line there. Okay, and I can look at it from the perspective view there and kind of match that up. And so now that that kind of helps us. We'll go ahead and just collapse that. And now this strut kind of goes up underneath the hood. Now if we smooth this, let's take a look and see what that's going to look like. Go ahead and use our NURMs. Now we might want to sharpen this up a little bit, right? So to do that, we can add a little bit of resolution in here. So for instance, on these edges, we can select this ring, and we'll do connect. Let's add 2 segments, turn our slide to 0, and then use our pinch to just move those out towards the ends. Okay, and then we also want to do that over here. So you can see if I select a ring, that's going to take it all the way down. So I'm going to start it here basically, and go ahead and just control, click on the little arrows so I get this ring right here, do the connect, and then I'll be able to reroute this manually. So I can come in here with the cut, okay, and now I can come in and instead of taking this across, I can kind of take it down here, draw it across there, and pull that in, kind of reroute that. Okay, and I can do the same thing on here if I want to do that. So I could go ahead and take this in and just maybe pull that down to that point. Okay, just so it's not coming down in anywhere I don't want it to be. And now if I take this and smooth it out, you can see it's a little bit tighter. Alright, so now let's go ahead and do this, this guy on the bottom, and we'll just use the same technique. We'll go ahead and grab this polygon here. If we take a look at our front view, this is basically encompasses where that strut's going to be coming out from. So we'll go ahead and do an inset to create the area for the strut to come out. Okay, it doesn't matter what the inset amount is really. I'll go ahead and just scale this in the X, get it down to a little bit closer to the size of this strut, and we'll go in and just manually kind of move some of these points around so that it's a little bit closer to what we want. Okay, and so just kind of move those around. Check that, and it looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and again do another little inset. This time with a very small amount, and then we'll do an extrude. First one we'll do a very small amount, and then apply that, and then the next one we'll go ahead and go all the way up into the top. Okay, go ahead and say OK, and delete that. Now let's say we want to shape this a little bit, pull this out. So we can go in and select that, select those ring, that ring. Go ahead and add 1 segment with no pinch, and we can just slide that where we want it to be, say OK, and then we can kind of pull that out a little bit. Okay, and if we want to grab that edge down in there, go ahead and do that and select the loop, and just create kind of a nice little curve there. Okay, now if we just smooth this right now, it's going to be a cylinder, right? Because we don't have any resolution to hold this. So we don't really want that. We want it to be a little bit sharper. So we can come in here and select this ring, and that's going to basically go from here all the way around and up and across. Okay, the only thing it's not going to get is the edges on this side. So we can go ahead and now do the connect with 2 segments and no slide, and then we'll use our pinch to just move those out to the front there. Okay, and we're trying to avoid adding any extra resolution down here to actually change the shape of this. So we'll go ahead and again select our ring on this side and do the connect once again. The settings, it keeps those settings, the same settings you used last time. So for us, that's going to work just great. All right, and then we can go ahead and smooth this and see what this looks like. So go ahead and show NURM subdivision, and we can turn off our edged faces. And now just looking at the struts, we've got some nice sharp struts in here. Now if you look at this, we're getting a lot of just kind of blobby stuff going on in here, and that's something that we really need to fix. And at this point we can start to do that. So in the next lesson we'll come in, start to add some of the sharpness to the wheel arch, and as it comes down here we'll add some sharpness around some of these areas, and we'll also add some more details into this front fascia area. So we'll go ahead and get to that in the next lesson.
Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe my channel for more updates.